Recording. Admit those folks over there. Hello, hello. As usual, if you are interested in turning on your camera, we would love to see your face. If not, that's okay too. You can sort of tell by my hair. Things are a little funky over on my side of the Zoom. But like I said, feel free to turn your camera on so that we can see you and say hello to you today. Hope everyone had a great weekend. It's almost holiday season, right? So things are getting a little hectic, I imagine, for a lot of families out there. So I'm glad that you're making time for us tonight. We do have a couple of guest speakers, as I mentioned in my email to you earlier this weekend. And so our first guest speaker is, I'm Liz, just in case if you're new here, but you all have been here before. I also have actually another chaperone in the chat here too. Her name is Christina Verratti. I'm gonna give a wave. There she is. She's going to be chaperoning on our trip. So she's going to join meetings as they come as well. And we're going to talk logistics with her as we get into the new year. So just wanted to say a big hello to Christina. We have Jacqueline Frazula, who's here to talk about our cookie program. I know that a lot of folks out there have not too much to go with your balance for this trip to Japan. And there is opportunity for you to pay off a lot of that balance with some of the awesome new cookie rewards that we've got coming up. So Jacqueline's going to talk about that. And then I can see we also have Kathryn Dennis here. She is joining us because she lived in Japan for 5 years and she has lots of cool experiences and cool things to chat about and maybe some fun pictures. So if you have any specific questions for someone who actually lived in the country for 5 years with her family, she's here to answer all your pressing Japan questions. Everyone feeling okay with that? All right, you can hear me, you can see me, all is well. Yay? All right, very good. So I am going to turn this over to Jacqueline. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to type them in the chat. I'm going to monitor the chat and we'll go from there. Sound good? All right, take it away, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Can you let me, just give me the right so I can share my screen, please? I should have asked that earlier. All right, so I'm hoping that a lot of you have actually participated in this year's Treats, Reads, and More program, because we did have a reward there, and I apologize it wasn't updated at the time of participating, but there was an opportunity for girls. Am I good, Liz? Okay. There was an opportunity for girls to actually earn, where am I? Where's my, nope, hold on. Here we go. There was a chance for girls to actually earn proceeds for camp and such by by participating in the fall program. So if everybody can see this, oh, that's cookies. Here's the fall one. So right here, you can earn $75 off a camp session within NYPENN, which is a lot of money. So if you sold over $1,250, we would give you $75 towards camp. So at the time that we did this, we did not think about putting that money towards travel trips. So if you are one of those girls that actually sold that much and you're not going to camp this year, we will apply that $75 towards your travel trip. So I don't know how many girls here are actually hit that level. We did have a large number of girls that did reach that level. But again, if you did reach that level, you can use it for a camp session or towards your travel trip, which is really exciting. And then over here is our cookie reward order form. So your service unit cookie coordinators have received their supplies and their order forms, and they will start to distribute those to the girls and the troops very soon. As you can see, it's very colorful, it's very fun. We have Coral, the dolphin, as our mascot. And one thing that we added this year, because we worked with Liz to figure out some really good rewards that are not always stuff, because we know that that stuff can get to be kind of a lot of stuff after a while, especially if you've been selling for many years and are those and earn a lot of stuff. So as you can see right here, at the 480 package level, girls have an opportunity to earn a gift card to the Central Rock Gym rock climbing facility. There's a couple of them throughout our jurisdiction. Or they can earn a $25 NYPENN experience credit. So it's an either or option. So you'll see that these items will have these rewards starting at the 480 level will offer an or option. And those or options are a tangible item or an experience, or money towards an experience to the to a NYPENN experience. So you can do an experience on your own with like the Rock Central Rock Gym, or you can go towards a NYPENN experience. And that can be either your travel trip, that can be camp, a program that we offer, but these are all cumulative. So if you earn the 75 from fall, you can, and you earn this level here, you get $100 towards one of your Girl Scout experiences, which is really awesome. So they're all cumulative for the year. So right here at the 480, you get $25. At 600, you get 25 more for a total of 50, not including fall. And then at the 420 level, you get another $50 if you'd like. So $100 right here. And then all the way over here at the 1,000+ level, you can get up to $300, which is a ton of money. So Liz mentioned that some of you have about $1,000 left of your balance due, which is amazing. That's so awesome. And I have to say, I'm super jealous in the most positive way that you guys get to go on this opportunity like of a lifetime. How amazing. So right here at the 1,000 level, girls have a chance to pick one of three options. They can get a $300 credit towards camp, a $300 credit towards a NYPENN experience, or 12 months of Girl Cratery. So if you already have a most membership with your family, you don't need that, but you really like to go to Camp Hoover. So you can really have your chance to pick and choose what works best for you and your family. So this is really exciting. Any questions about that? I will tell you though, when you actually, there was 2 typos on the order form. This is the updated version, which will be on our website. You'll see that this word experience here will say trip credit. Just disregard that, and you can tell your friends too. It's all the same. So the experience credit and trip credit are the exact same thing. It was just a typo. And then down here, you'll see that this says 480. On the order form you receive, it says 600. It should be 480. Oops. All right. Any questions regarding that? So just from cookies, you can earn up to $400 towards your travel experience, which is awesome. And then if you earned it for fall, it's $475.
Yep, that's pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. So if you have already paid off your balance with EF Tours, some of you have, what we can do is apply this to, it's possible, although I haven't chatted with Jacqueline, to apply it to another part of the trip. So we all are going to be collecting money for tips. So that's a thing. You also can apply it to EF Tours, like we can send them a check on your behalf, and then EF Tours will refund you part of the balance that you've already paid. So you would receive a check from EF Tours directly back to you for the amount of money that we would credit into your account for this trip. So if you have a zero balance, like I said, you can still earn money if you want to and get that back. And then that money that you get back from EF Tours, you can use for tipping and for souvenirs, for lunches, for things like that, that you might not have started thinking about yet. So last year, in eBuddy, you were in your traditional troop. And I'm actually going to share. Do you have anything else to share on there, Jacqueline? No, you're good. Okay. So I'm going to take back this and I'm going to share with you just as a recap. The travel troop cookie sales participation. Can you see it? Did I share it yet? I did. Okay. So just as a quick reminder, you'll be in eBuddy as your traditional troop for now. And then the travel troop is something that I will maintain on the back end. So just like I did this past year, I will get council cookie booths and I'll share it with the group and I'll tell you where they are, what times they are, etc. If you want to opt into those council cookie booths, we will, just like I did last year, pony cookies or get cookies from your nearest service center and make sure that you have everything you need for those booth sales. When you turn in your receipts or turn in your monies, all of those things will be tracked per girl by those sales. You'll be under a service unit probably 2023 like you were last year as well, although your name won't be in there. So like I said, I'll be doing this in the back end. And let's see, it looks like in order to sell for the travel troop, so you wouldn't get any of those cumulative rewards if you're selling at booth sales for the travel troop. I'm going to opt out of those in the system. So you'll be getting the higher rate of per girl. And because we're opting out of those rewards. So anyone that's selling for the travel troop will not be getting any of those travel experience, that sort of thing. That's on the traditional troop side of it. Let's see. You also can secure your own booths. You know, Uncle Bob has his corner store in Wolcott, and he says, yeah, you can totally sell for your Japan trip here at Uncle Bob's corner store. You can certainly do that. You just have to request a booth location through the job form, and we'll get it into eBuddy so that you can get in there as well. Digital sales, I don't think anyone did digital sales last year. So I'm going to talk with Jacqueline about that a little bit more. If you are interested in digital sales, you can just drop me a message, or I'll send an email out with some of this information and the recording for this meeting afterwards. So if you have specific questions that need answering, feel free to let me know. So I'm not sure how many folks did digital sales last year. And so I've got to look into that a little bit more. Girls proceeds are going to be regarded like IRGs, as I mentioned. So what will happen, just like I did this past year, is I will send a check directly to EF, and it will be applied through them in their system for your trip. It does take a while, as you learned this year. It took longer than I anticipated. And so a lot of you were a little bit frustrated with that. And partially my fault, because I don't know, I just didn't do it in time because I thought they would be faster, and they weren't. So I was not fast, and also EF was not fast. So together we were not fast. But this year I will be better because I've learned my lesson from last year. So they're not a fast system. But I'm going to try to get that under control this year. So anyways, let's see. And just a couple of quick little things on the bottom here in the fine print, I guess. Remember, in order to do money earning activities, if you choose to do something outside of these things, you must participate in both fall and cookie sales. And there's a form that you would fill out to get approved for a money earning activity. You can send out your individual donation page in EF Tours. You all have one. It's a link that says, I'm going to Japan, help me get there. Feel free to send that out to your family and friends during the holiday season. It's a great way to earn for this trip, especially if you're way past, I always use Legos, if you're way past the Lego phase of your life, and you want experiences and not stuff. This is a great way to have grandma, put her money towards your trip instead of getting you a, I don't know, whatever grandmas get you these days, socks and underwear. How about that? So send them the link. Unfortunately, you may not solicit from businesses. So please don't send this link to Uncle Bob's corner store and say, hey, Uncle Bob, may I please have a donation from your business, from your corner store for my trip to Japan? That is not something that is allowed under GS NYPENN regulations and also under Girl Scouts USA regulations. And it has a lot to do with our tax exempt status. And then lastly, additional money earning activities, you can decide that individually. If you have any great ideas, feel free to drop me a line and we'll see what we can do as a group. It's a little bit harder as a group for these trips because we're spread out so far throughout the council that it's tough to get everyone in the same spot. Let me look in the chat real quick. Yes, so I definitely have different, so the service unit for Japan is 2023, for Galapagos 2024, and England, Ireland, and Wales 2025 in the system. So I do keep them separate. However, if you're going on more than one trip, we do have girls that are going on multiple trips with us. Feel free to let me know what you want that designated to. If you're done with Japan and you're going to England, Ireland, and Wales, and you want to put your money towards that one, just let me know, and I'll make sure that the right designation is in the system. We can sell cookies with our troop. Yes, you can sell cookies with your traditional troop and with your travel troop. Just a quick caveat, selling with the traditional troop, your monies that you're earning from selling those cookies are going into the pot, right? So the entire troop is going to benefit from you selling with your traditional troop. Typically, money from traditional troop sales is not designated to individual girls within the troop. So if that's a conversation that you are looking to have, feel free to reach out to us. We can hook you up with a troop support person, your troop support person, and or help you navigate that sort of conversation. But that's why we have the troop travel troops set up in eBuddy, so that those two conflicts, it doesn't, hopefully we can avoid stuff like that. Any questions, comments, concerns? Christina, did I forget anything? You're the guru here.
Sorry, the joy of being on my phone. I don't think that you've forgotten anything. I did see a couple of questions in the chat though that popped up.
Yep, I got those. Those two, the rules for chaperones fundraising for their trip.
Yes.
So I think, this is a Girl Scout trip, yes. But really the fundraising that we do typically is for girls, for girls trips. I think that any fundraising that chaperones wish to do is fine on their own. For example, you can send out your donation link to friends and family. If you have other places where you want to do the donation link, that's fine. If you want to join a craft fair and sell, bracelets at the craft fair because you make them and they're beautiful, that's great. But I think where we might draw the line is using the Girl Scouts. Like I'm a Girl Scout and I'm selling these. I'm an adult and I'm selling these bracelets to go on this trip with Girl Scouts. We typically don't do that. So Girl Scout fundraising for this trip should stay with the girls. If you're an adult and you want to do something else, not under the guise of Girl Scouts, just under you as a person, feel free. Does that answer the question? Hopefully. Any other questions, comments?
Yes, that does answer my question. What I wanted to do was, one of my coworkers suggested like selling candy bars like in the break room to like earn extra money for my trip. So that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't like breaking any rules when I did that.
Yes. Christina,
So,
I feel like you want to weigh in.
well, so as Girl Scouts, fundraising is usually done for the council as a whole. And then girls typically do money earning projects where they provide a service or make something to sell. And then we really, the only product endorsed selling we do is our treats, reads, and more, and our cookies. So there's a really delicate balance there on if you were doing something on your own, selling a product and really being able to share with people what you're selling and why, and not having that really conflict with the Girl Scout Blue Book, which is how we are a 501c3. So that's what I'm going to say about it.
So like if I use the wording like, hey, I'm selling candy bars to support my trip to Japan, and I say nothing about Girl Scouting when I'm doing it, like, is that what you mean? Like I'm not like advertising Girl Scouting. Like.
I guess, yes. However, like we wouldn't tell a girl to do that. So it's really hard to say that an adult could, because that doesn't feel very like Girl Scout fair.
Okay. So there's really nothing adults can do to raise money then. Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. I'm just confused.
Liz? Yeah. Liz?
Well, like I said,
like I know you said the craft fair thing, like that, is that the only example of things we would be allowed to do?
My example off of like service, right? So like you're making something, you're making wreaths, for holiday wreaths, and you are making them. You're getting bows and stuff, and you're selling them that way. So really, I'm gonna say probably that I would stick within the parameters of a girl doing these things as a Girl Scout adult. And so I think that's what I'll say. But we also, we can have this chat offline as well. If you want. Who is chatting with me? Let me look in my chat.
Oh, it's Danielle Haynes.
Okay, got it. So we can touch base. We also can touch base about this sort of offline and talk through some options for you, Danielle.
Okay.
'Cause I know it's hard. As adults, you want to go on this trip as well, and we're helping the girls go, and it can be hard as adults. I get that. I totally get that. So let's leave.
Yeah,
this
we're
question-
saving all our pennies.
I know it. I know. It's a good question. It's a great question. So let me chat with Christina tomorrow when we get into work, and we'll come up with some solutions here, and we can touch base with you. And if I do send out like an all-person email, we can clarify this in that all-participant email that I'm going to send out as well. So, but thank you for bringing it up. Like I said, adults get overlooked, I think, sometimes in some of these things. So.
Okay, cool.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions about the cookie sales or money earning activities or anything else that we can answer right now? Julio, if you think of anything, throw it in the chat or email me separately. And I want to get to the meaty part of our meeting tonight. I want to make sure that Kathryn has lots of time to chat with you about her time in Japan. Let's see, are you going to share? Should I make you a co-host? I will, just in case. And Jacqueline, thank you very much for coming this evening. I appreciate it very much, talking to us about all the awesome things that girls can do to earn money towards their trip. So thank you.
Awesome, guys. Good luck. And thank you so much for everything. Have a good night and a good week. Bye, guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Kathryn. I'm going to spotlight you, if that's okay.
Sure. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, and if you could just maybe start us off and chat about why you were there and where you were, and just give us a little history of your time in Japan.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me tonight and asking me to speak. You can see my Japan artwork behind me. So I work in Kyoga County, but first and foremost, we're a Navy family. So we were stationed in Sasebo, Japan, which is the southern part of Japan, for 5 years. So when we first found out we were going, honestly, I had no desire to go at all. I really didn't want to. I was very mad. And it turned out to be probably 5 of the best years we've ever had as a family. And our daughter was actually born there. So we really, really were immersed in the culture and the lifestyle and everything about it. So before I get into some random topics, does anyone have any questions? Initially, I understand that you're going to have a tour guide, so that is wonderful. You'll be taken care of with an expert by your side the whole way, and they'll be able to tell you everything, but I can maybe give you the Cliff Notes version or any questions that you may want to have answered.
If you do have questions and you're having trouble with the chat, you can always unmute yourself as well, and just give us a chirp, a heads up, and we can, did I hear someone unmute? Looking through my peeps here. All right. So I don't see any questions at this time. If you have any, like I said, you can unmute or you can put it in the chat.
Okay. Well, maybe I can share some fun pictures to begin with. So let's talk about, let's see, I'm not great on my computer. Let's see if I can pull up. Let's talk about currency and the exchange rate. Can you all see this? Can you see this screen right now? Can you see the yen?
Nope.
No. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's why I need to share it first. Okay. Can everyone see the 18,000 yen?
Yep.
Okay. So you may have already learned this, but quick rule of thumb, very quickly, anything that you want to purchase, take the right 2 numbers off, and that is roughly a conversion about what it would be in US dollars. So 18,858, take off the 8 and the 5. So it's about $190. So really good rule of thumb. And I learned that very quickly during my orientation. So that's a fun
And so like the comma doesn't become the decimal point. It's like the
Right.
straight up. Okay. got it.
Right. And if you're in Korea, eventually you take off the 3. So you take the 858 off.
Got it.
And
Not Korea this time. I think we're
no,
saying.
no, not this time. And if you were in Korea, it would actually be 188, 580 or something. They have one more. Your wallet is very heavy when you're in Korea, and your wallet's very heavy in Japan too. They have $5 coins, $1 coins.
Yeah, the coins, that's a lot. How do you, I wonder, I haven't looked into it yet. I wonder if you can exchange, I wonder if you can exchange dollars for yen here in the US. Obviously the euro was a little bit easier to get, but.
Right. I mean, you can, once you're in the international terminals, when you land, are you landing in Narita probably? The first thing I would do is probably go to the currency exchange booths. And that will have a slightly different exchange rate. But that will be the first thing. You also, if everyone has a debit card of some sort, if you go into a 7-Eleven, you can pull out cash with your own US debit card.
Great, that's good to know too.
Yeah, very handy. That leads me to another exciting discussion. Convenience stores. Who likes convenience stores, right? 7-Elevens, Family Mart, you can have an entire meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with healthy options, and grocery shop and buy household items. You must visit Family Marts and 7-Elevens. You will be ruined for the rest of your life.
Better than a Wegmans?
Oh, well, it's different. It's just different.
Different,
It's
yeah.
different. As you will find, it's just different.
I have heard of I'm an Anthony Bourdain fan. And so I recall Anthony Bourdain traveled quite a bit to Japan. And I remember him on the search for the perfect egg salad sandwich. What's going on with that? Tell us about the egg salad sandwich.
So it's so funny that you mentioned that. It's still one of my favorite things on earth. I think Family Mart makes a great egg salad sandwich, and they come in, the little triangle plastic box with a bit of ham and lettuce. It's just the best. There's a teriyaki pork sandwich cut into thirds. Basically anything that you get is just the most delicious thing. And it is very true. The egg salad in Japan is amazing. So is the potato salad.
Amazing. So potato salad is not something that I think I would choose to eat if given the choice, but if it's delicious. But also, I know this is on your list of things, but since you're already talking, because egg salad, I imagine to be vegetarian, right? Like not vegan necessarily, but vegetarian at least. But now you're saying like there's ham on it. So maybe not so vegetarian.
It's the funniest story. One of our friends, she is a vegetarian, so we went out for ramen. And they brought out her ramen and they said, yes, vegetarian. And we said, what kind of broth? Tonkatsu broth, which is pork broth. The vegetarianism and veganism just really isn't, at least when we were there, we came home and we came back to the States in 2016. I don't know if it has changed, but it really just isn't anything that's mainstream or considered or something that you won't be able to communicate that when it comes to a menu choice at a restaurant. And that brings us to that Google Translate discussion. On your phones, download the Google Translate app. So on this app, there is a camera option. So say you have a menu or a train schedule or something, even, a wrapper for a snack. You say, well, what's inside of it? It's not chocolate, it's sweet red beans. Made that mistake many times. You take a picture of the wrapper, you can actually highlight with your finger what you want translated and it will translate it for you.
That's cool.
It's not perfect, but at least it will tell you roughly what it is or where you're going or how much or etc. So can everyone see this beautiful hot pot picture? So this was one of our friends. The Japanese are very prideful. in many ways when it comes to manners, etiquette, and food. There is food stalls, restaurants, bakeries everywhere. So when you go to a Japanese home, they will prepare and make the most luxurious thing that they can because they're very prideful with their food. So this was a really delicious hot pot, many dishes. You can see mushrooms, vegetables, pork as always.
Kathryn, can you scroll down just a little?
Yeah.
I think we're missing part of the bottom of the picture.
There we go.
There we
Oh
go.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So that's an example of another.
So what was happening? A hot pot is on our list of things that we're gonna do while we're there. Can
Mhm.
you just talk a little bit about what hot pot is and like what should we expect?
So there's many different restaurants. This is my daughter eating ramen. Oh wait.
Yay.
Oh shoot. Hang on. Can you see her now?
Mhm.
Oh no. There we go. So when you go to a hot pot restaurant, you're gonna have a big bowl of simmering broth in the middle, and they'll heat it up for you. And then you order items to put into it. You can order anything that you want into it, but the broth is basically the same for everybody. It's usually dashi, which is like a fish stock with mirin and soy sauce and sake. And, all of any alcohol that's in that burns off, of course, but it's a really, really delicious combination. And then you basically cook your food in it.
I saw eggs on eggs on the
Yep.
table.
Yep.
So are they are you dropping eggs in there?
They're dropped in kind of poached in the broth. Let me show you. This is my husband. You can also go to the restaurants where you can order the meat and the vegetables and grill it yourself. So that was one of our favorite things you could do. It was like all you can eat. You go for 2 hours somewhere, you pay $30 a person, and you order as much as you want for 2 hours. It's just a time frame. So this was probably pork.
So in a lot of European countries, Italy, France, Greece, mealtime is very slow. It's not a quick thing like we do here in America.
Right.
If you're in a hurry in Italy, don't sit down at a restaurant because you're not going to make it.
Mhm.
So how is it in Japan? How was that timing?
That's a really good point. I saw, Japanese put down a bowl of ramen in 3 minutes. And that is possible, lunchtime, a quick dinner after work just before going home, because food is so inexpensive. People do eat out a lot. A bowl of ramen is $3 to $5 sometimes. Again, this is 2016 or 2010 to 16. But food is very, very affordable. So, you don't go out to dinner and spend $200. You go out and spend $40. So it can be as long or as short as you want. We went to some Japanese traditional lunches and dinners where they bring out, you would have 15 or 18 different courses and it lasts 2 to 3 hours. But that you choose that.
Right.
It can be very quick. Mhm.
How do you, what would you say? Oh, that's a good question. What are typical meal times?
Oh, typical meal times, same as us. Breakfast 7 to 8. Lunch the same, dinner the same. Not late like Europe, it's not like Spain where you have dinner at 10 or 11. They have dinner at 7 or 8, just like us.
That's pretty cool earlier. I was when I was in Paris, we were trying to eat. We were just hungry after walking around, and our tour guide said, "Oh no, none of these restaurants will serve you before 7:30,
Oh,
8
yeah.
o'clock."
No,
No.
not so. No, you won't run into that.
I imagine just maybe go to a convenience store and get a snack, and then
Absolutely.
tide you over.
Many
So,
good
yeah.
choices to tide you over. Yeah, we only ran into that once. We were in Kyoto, I think, and we wanted to go out to dinner, and the restaurant didn't open until 6. Not very late, but our daughter was little, so we wanted to get going, but
Right.
we just found another place that was open. That was all.
Right.
Mhm.
So the thing I think I'm looking forward to most is having sushi, like sushi, sashimi, those types of things there, because I know it's like coming out of the ocean essentially.
Mhm.
Do you eat those types of things yourself? And can you talk a little bit about your sushi experience?
Yes, so the sushi go round. I don't know if you can see.
We can see.
Can you see that beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful sushi?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's making me hungry and I just ate dinner.
So there's sushi go rounds everywhere you go, and it's the ones that come out on the conveyor belt and you order on a screen. They have English. You can choose the English screens, so don't worry about that. But they have the different color coded plates for price, and you order your sushi, it arrives on, it sings a little song, like a little Japanese song, and as it's arriving on the conveyor belt, you pull your plate off, and then at the sorry. At the end of your dinner, you stack your plates at the end of the table. They come with a ruler and measure how many plates you've had. And that's how much you pay. And, the yellow plates are 100 yen, $1. Maybe the white plates are 200 yen, $2. You can have a stack of sushi for $15 on the high end. And it's everywhere. We never made our sushi because you would just go out for it. And you'd buy it at the store as well.
Right. Now we are pretty used to, I'm still in negotiations with my sushi person here in Syracuse to talk a little bit about, types of sushi. But here, obviously we have like sushi with cream cheese in it and sushi with, shrimp tempura is like, safe, right? Like the safer kind of ones that are the California roll, right?
Mhm.
So, what's the difference in the Japanese sushi we might encounter and some of the ones that like you can get at Wegmans?
Right. So the sushi, the sashimi on top of the rice, that is what you will find 98% of the time. The beautiful, nice rice, a little dab of wasabi on top underneath the fish. So the wasabi is usually already on there, and that's what you'll find.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Would you advise not to mix your wasabi into your soy sauce? I see there's a lot of like.
I did that. Really? No.
Yeah, it's a thing on TikTok. It's like never mix your wasabi into your soy sauce.
Oh, really? We did that all the time.
That's great.
And we never got the no, we never got that. You'll hear that.
Well, that's actually a kind of a good transition, because I in our conversation, I chatted with you a little bit about how to interact with people. What is it like there, interacting with people, dealing with people in crowds, ordering from waiters and waitresses, things like that. Maybe talk a little bit about etiquette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a big one. Consideration and manners and etiquette are just, it rules every part of their life. If you haven't watched Marie Kondo on Netflix, watch that a couple episodes and just see how she is with people, how she interacts with people, how she speaks. And it really is like that. People don't jaywalk. If there's a button that you press to cross, you wait until the white walking person pops up. If there's a line, there's a tape line on the train platform, people will line single file on that tape and file onto the train. The people follow those just little everyday bits of etiquette. What else? People bow, they'll bow to you. When you walk into a shop, they'll shout at you saying welcome. You'll walk into a shop and they'll, if you YouTube it, you don't want me to do it on here right now. I could. My husband and I were actually doing that today, because we went to the Asian market in DeWitt today. And they did not do that, but you know, you are welcomed everywhere, and they, you know, you go to a clothing store. I'd have my favorite clothing store at the mall. They bag your clothes, wrap it in tissue paper, put it in the bag. If it's raining, they cover it in plastic. They walk you to the door, and they walk your bag to the door with you and hand it to you. It's amazing. And it's not just one-offs, it's like that everywhere. The money, even the grocery store, there's a tray at cash registers. You place your money on the tray, they pick up the tray, then they put your change on the tray, hand you the tray.
So it's not a hand-to-hand
No,
situation typically.
no, everything is ceremony, everything is ritual. And I'll pull up my tea ceremony. This was it. This was Audrey's teacher in Japan. She came over to the house. We still are in touch with her. We're gonna see her in February. And she'd come over with her mom, and we'd do a matcha green tea ceremony. So all the bowls are out. They get the whisk, the boiling water, the powder.
That is very cool.
So it's really neat. I hope you get to see a tea ceremony or participate in one.
Feel like we are going to a place that's going to teach us about kimonos,
Mhm.
and also do tea ceremony and talk about culture and tradition.
Mhm.
So I believe that the tea ceremony will be there when we do the kimono.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be.
So I'm a huge coffee drinker. I don't typically drink tea. So for those of us in the audience
Yeah.
who are coffee drinkers and maybe don't know a lot about tea and or how to drink tea, I'm imagining that's an important thing. Like maybe
That's
like
okay.
tea ceremony.
No, coffee culture is amazing there. They have those, what they do is use those cones and do the slow.
Yeah, the pour
flow.
over.
The coffee is so good.
Excellent.
So
So I'm
good.
not going to be ostracized for the
No, go to a
grande.
Starbucks. No, go to a Starbucks, because the seasonal offerings are different there at the Starbucks.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, you will go into a convenience store, of course, again, the convenience store. There are 45 different kinds of chips. There are 1,000 different drinks. Georgia coffees are like the to-go coffees with the straw. You must try those. There's vending machines everywhere. They have hot vending machines with hot cans of soup, hot coffee, and hot tea.
Really?
Mhm.
Did you say Georgia coffee?
Georgia coffee. That's the brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that the Japanese folks do not enjoy like eating and walking at the same time. So like you wouldn't maybe go into a convenience store and get a sandwich and then go out onto the street and like eat it as you're walking and going.
Yeah, that's a really good, I think that falls into the etiquette piece as well. You don't, when they're walking somewhere and they walk everywhere, they're just walking. They're not talking on the phone. They're not eating. They're not multitasking. They're paying attention to what they're doing. Then they get to where they're going, and then they'll do whatever it is they're going to do. But yeah, that's a really good point. And there aren't, there's no trash cans out in public. You know, even parks, you pack in, you pack out. It's funny, you don't see trash anywhere, nowhere. When stick a face cloth in your purse or your bag or backpack, whatever you have. Public bathrooms, everyone has a washcloth in their bag, and you wash your hands and dry it with your own personal cloth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So if we walk into a public restroom, we're not going to find paper towels and things like that.
Probably won't. You'll either find an air dryer or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. That's a cool point. Is this jogging any question? I know I'm taking all the questions here with my own personal, like I drink coffee. I think there was a question in the chat that said, what was the hardest thing to adjust to?
Great question. I think initially not being able to read anything, but it's funny how quickly you get used to that. And I remember at the 2-month mark, at 2 months, I was in love with Japan. I'll get to the gluten-free food next. When you are talking to a friend or whoever it is that you're with, you can focus a lot more because you have no idea what anyone is saying around you. And you're not, I think it's really
that's good.
true. I think it's true. I think that was the hardest thing, just the not being able to read anything or understand what was going on. But maybe that's a blessing in disguise, really. Much more focused on what you're doing at that time because you can't hear what's going on around you.
Yeah, I imagine, I think I've been thinking a lot about that since our last meeting. We talked about language and, signs and things like that. I think that's going to be the hardest part for me. Because, you feel like you go somewhere you don't know and you're like, well, I'll just figure it out. It's fine. We'll figure it out, right? But it's going to be a lot harder when there's not a lot of English to read in order to figure it out. So that'll be a good challenge.
It will. And I'm really interested. I hope you can let me know how you feel after, the first day as opposed to, day 5. How many days are you there, Liz?
Oh gosh, I think we're there for 11 or 12 days maybe.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if you feel any different at the end of the trip. In terms of gluten-free food, there's a lot of rice noodles and rice paper for gyoza and things like that. I think that should be pretty easy to figure out on a menu. When there's dumplings or anything like that, they don't put breadcrumbs in it like we do. If there's like a pork stuffing inside of gyoza, they don't have breadcrumbs. But you could always have rice noodles in a bowl of soup as opposed to flour. Curries, Japanese curries are very good.
Interesting. Okay. How is Japanese cuisine? This is another question only for me, folks. If you don't have any questions, you got to speak up here. I'm a giant baby when it comes to spice. So would you characterize like the typical Japanese cuisine as a sort of a spicy kind of scenario, or is it just flavorful and less spicy?
No, yeah, no spice, just flavor. Yeah, a lot of sesame oil, soy sauce, of course, sake, mirin, scallion, but no, you don't find chili. Like, a Thai cuisine, you'll find Thai restaurants and they are extremely good. And that will be, your eyes will be sweating. Yep.
Well, you mentioned curry, and I also don't have a lot of experience with like Indian curries and Thai curries and things like that, except for that I know that they're generally kind of spicy.
Well, the Japanese curries are not. They're very, very different, actually. I got this one today from the market. This is very common. You'll see that over there. S&B golden curry. Has anyone had this before? No? Well, if you are over in Syracuse area and you feel like trying it before you go pick up a box. And it's really easy to make. There's English directions on the back, but this is much more similar to what Japanese curry is.
So what are you going to do with that?
Pardon?
What are you going to do with that?
What am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
Probably do like ground beef, carrots, potatoes on top of rice.
All right. Hey, that sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
That's what they do. Everything's on rice. Everything. Yeah. So
are there a lot of potatoes? I can't imagine there's a lot of potatoes there. It's not probably not heavy.
Really beautiful potatoes, actually. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But of course, primarily rice and noodles.
Yeah. Are the people typically more outwardly friendly, or do they keep to themselves in public is the question.
They keep to themselves in public, but they love Americans. They really do. We just had the best time and just the most hospitable people. They go on their way. They're not going to go out of their way, but for for this trip, you probably won't interact with. I mean, you'll have your tour guide. You'll have the individuals that take you on tours wherever it is that you're going, the kimono, and they're just very hospitable, gentle, not loud, very quiet people. Yeah.
Do you think it would be, if we are, I know a lot of us are trying to learn a little Japanese before we go.
Mhm.
Is it something that, like in Greece, we were trying to speak in Greek and they were very excited that we were
Oh, yeah.
learning, and they wanted to correct us, and they were like practicing with us, and they were very like happy.
Yeah, that sounds very
In France,
similar.
like the French people were like, I speak English, stop. Right. So they did not want to hear my French. They were like, I'm fine. I speak English. Stop doing that. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay. But
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
is it like, are we going to be offensive if we try to speak horrible
No.
Japanese?
The experience will be very similar to what it was in Greece. They will be so excited and they will correct you
Mhm.
very nicely.
Mhm.
And they will just be over the moon if you try to speak any Japanese.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
I
That's good.
remember I was hiking, we were stationed in Hawaii most recently. And of course, a lot of Japanese in Hawaii, they love to come to shop and go on vacation. And I was hiking with my son up this mountain, and I could hear these Japanese folks biking up behind me, speaking Japanese, saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so hot. This is really difficult. What were we thinking?" And I turned around and I said, like, good job, go in Japan. They lost their minds that they found like this person that knew what they were saying. And they were so excited.
So are you fluently Japanese?
No, I speak preschool level Japanese. Audrey was almost 4 when we moved back. So, I mean, enough to go to a store, go out to eat, speak to her teachers, speak to her. Greetings. Greetings are really important. Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you. How much is this? Get those phrases. And there's a lot of really good Japanese phrase books. If you can get the phrases down, maybe have a CD that comes with it or whatever people use these days. I say CD. So you can hear.
I know. Such a difference, right?
Yeah. Go on YouTube. I know. You probably don't even need a book anymore, but get a phrase book.
Yeah. Good. All right, let me see. It's 7:54. So I want to be mindful of everybody's time tonight. Are there any, one quick other question. Did you have the opportunity to go to Tokyo Disney while you were there?
We did not, but we had a lot of friends that did, and they just had the best time. Like with all things Japan, very orderly, not chaotic. I didn't hear anyone saying they had a bad experience or it was so busy it was just crazy. Everyone always had a good time.
Great.
Mhm.
I've never been to Disney, so I'm excited that my first time to
Mhm.
Disney will be not here.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing.
I don't know if it was you or somebody else that was like, yeah, it'll probably ruin you on Disney though forever. You'll never want to go to a different Disney. So probably the case. Does anyone have any other questions in the final couple of minutes that we have here for Kathryn? This has been really very good, very informative. Oh, that's pretty.
So good. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
It was my favorite little spot. Well, one of 1,000 favorite little spots. This was a hidden pottery village at the base of the mountain called Okawachiyama. And I mean, if you can, I know you have a tour guide. I know you have a pretty good full schedule of things to see and places to go. But if you can wander around a little, the gardens that you will find just down a random street. Look at this wisteria. This was down a residential street. And I was just driving one day, I would always just get in the car and go and get lost. And that's how you discover things. And I found this wisteria garden down a residential street, and it's just incredible.
It does not look real.
You can go to parks. If you can just take some free time and go to parks, they're out of this world. just unbelievable.
Had you been to Nara? Did you go to Nara at all while you were there?
No,
That is the deer park.
yes, I heard a lot about it. We did not go. I know. I'm trying to find, I was trying to find the temple picture from Kyoto, but I can't find it. We went to, I think it was which one was it? I think the Golden Temple, and we did the Philosopher's Path in Kyoto, which I'm sure you've all read about. Very, very cool. But we did go to Biopark. Biopark, the animals run free. Biopark and then Safari Park. And we were in a caged vehicle with tongs and meat feeding tigers and lions outside of the car, the van. I mean, they would never be allowed in this country.
Right. I'm sure we're gonna have time for that. Maybe on a future trip. Toby's asking, and this will be our last questions because I know it looks like you got kiddos that want to go to bed. Hi.
Sadly, no, they bloom in April for about a week. I'm so sorry. Is that's when you'll be there, July?
Yeah, we'll be in there in July.
The wisteria will be full.
Yay.
Yes, but the cherry blossoms are so fleeting. They're just incredible. And maybe you'll just have to go back one day, end of March and April, and go see them.
I think that'll be the case after this trip. We'll all want to go back. So. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to email me and I will email them to Kathryn. But this was really great. It's really nice to have experiences from folks that have been there. So we all thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have fun. I'm so envious of you all. It's just going to be amazing. Enjoy every minute. Thank you.
You're welcome and have a great night. We appreciate you. All right. And so for everyone, I'm going to unspotlight you so you can go. For everybody else, I'm noticing that our next meeting, bye Kathryn, thank you. Our next meeting is on New Year's Day. So it's obviously not going to be on New Year's Day because you're going to be celebrating the year 2023, the year we're taking this awesome trip with your family and you don't want to hang out with me, I'm sure. So I'm wondering if you want to do it the next weekend after that, which would be January, I don't know, 7th. 8th, thank you. Or if you want to cancel the January and just go keep up with February. Does anyone have any preference? No, doesn't seem like it. So maybe I will see what I can find from my friend who does the January 8th. Okay. So yes, I think that's what I was thinking, then that next Sunday. So I may resend that one occurrence. In the meantime, your homework is to find yourself some Japanese golden curry mix or similar at your nearest Asian food store. And give it a try and then report back. I definitely will be. I'm also making a ramen this week to sort of get in the mood. I've got my bok choy, I got my miso, my mirin. There's something called tamil, what's it called? Tamari, which I'm thinking might be like tamarind, but I don't really know. Maybe it's not, no clue. Anywho, I'll be making ramen. Maybe I'll take some pictures and share it with you. I'm very excited about the ramen sushi scenario here. So, anyone have anything else they want to share or talk about before we go? It is 8 o'clock. No? All right. As always, thank you for sharing the first Sunday of the month with me and now your good friend, Christina, who's over there on my screen anyways. Yep. So next time around, we're going to talk about food. Let's talk about food. I'm going to talk about food because the ramen. So that's your homework. Make something Japanese. Take pictures, take a little video, and we're going to share out our food experiences next time. So branch out and bring your food pics and have a great Sunday. I will see you all soon and look on the Facebook page and in your email for the link to the recording of this meeting. Bye. Have a great
Just let
night.
me join in.
Yay.
Yay.
We're happy to have you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.